One day, a family was walking in the forest, talking about their Christmas tree. They had no idea that the forest was alive and could understand their words. The trees in the forest were shocked to hear one of the people saying their Christmas tree was cursed.
No way,
said one of the trees.
that can't be true. After all, Christmas trees are grown in our forest. If they were cursed, we'd certainly know about it.
Christmas trees are not cursed,
cried a young sapling after the people had left. The taller trees nodded in agreement, as did some of the animals that were grazing nearby.
Of course not. The Christmas tree is one of the greatest gifts to humankind.
Exclaimed the blue jay.
What could possibly be the problem?
Asked the mistletoe.
I don't know,
Said the great oak.
but we'd better find out. We don't want to get blamed for things that aren't true.
I will fly to their window and sit on their ledge.
Volunteered the blue jay.
I will watch the tree all night long and see what is happening.
Off he flew, leaving the forest wondering and waiting. Early the next morning, Blue Jay flew back and reported what he had seen to the great oak.
Oh no,
Exclaimed the great oak.
we need a meeting of the forest.
When all were gathered, Great Oak spoke.
We have some bad news.
He said,
Those Christmas trees aren't really cursed. Actually, they are the victims of trolls.
Everyone gasped. Great Oak told them the history. Many years ago, trolls lived in the forest, and they didn't care about anyone or anything. They especially didn't care about the other living things in the forest. They would stomp around and play wildly, breaking things as they went. You could tell where they once lived because there was patches of nothingness. Once the trolls saw how ugly they had made the place, they would move on to another part of the forest and repeat the damage. Pretty soon, all the living things in the forest, both plants and animals, grew tired of all the destruction. They banded together and kicked out the trolls, banishing them from the forest forever. No one had ever heard from them again, at least not until now.
The family thinks the tree is cursed
Explained the great oak.
because something always goes wrong with the gifts that are under it. The trolls come in at night and unwrap the gifts, break the toys, cut wires, bite holes in stuffed animals, and steal batteries. I think they must hibernate all year and come out only in December.
We can't let that happen.
Exclaimed the majestic buck.
We need to fix this fast. We need to send somebody into a human house and put a stop to all of this nonsense about the cursed tree. It will not be easy. In fact, since we are dealing with trolls, it will be dangerous. We need someone small and stealthy, whom the humans won't notice. Who will go for us? Who will protect the legacy of the Christmas tree?
I will go.
Said a little lizard.
If I can serve Christmas, then I will go.
Now, this wasn't just any lizard. This was the Prince of Lizards, one who had belonged to the most prestigious lizard family.
No, not you, son.
Said the father.
You are much too important.
Then let me go.
Said another lizard. This second lizard was not from a prestigious lizard family. In fact, the other lizards often looked down on him.
Yes, let him go!
They all cried,
He's not that important.
You're all wrong.
said the Prince of Lizards.
He's the only other volunteer who wants to serve Christmas. That makes him great. I can trust him to fight by my side, so we will both go.
Before the lizard's father could speak again, Great Oak bellowed.
It has been said, so it will be done. Now go, without fear, you won't be alone. When you are in most need, help will come from above.
The two lizards said their goodbyes and marched toward the house. They climbed down the chimney and made their way towards the Christmas tree.
It's beautiful,
said the young prince.
It always is.
Answered the humble lizard.
How do you know that?
The prince asked.
We didn't have much as far as material things went. So instead, our parents would bring us to the window so we could watch Christmas morning unfold. Watch the joy, my mother would say. It's contagious. She was right. It was contagious. And that's what we got for Christmas. The gift of joy. So, yes, it's always beautiful.
What's your name?
Asked the prince.
I get called many names, most of them not nice.
The humble lizard answered.
But the ones who know me, who really know me, call me David. David Meza.
That's so interesting. My name is also Meza. I'm Nate Meza.
Said the prince.
But it makes sense for us to share a name, since we're also sharing in the danger.
They both nodded and looked for a nice hiding place among the Christmas tree branches. Finally, night came, and everyone in the house was fast asleep. Everyone, that is, except for the two Meza lizards, and the few shadows scurrying towards the Christmas tree.
Do you see them, Nate?
I see them, David. I think we should make our way toward the bottom of the tree and get ready to say hi in case they decide to stop by.
Right on.
Both lizards crawled to the base of the tree and hid behind the gifts. Suddenly, a small gang of trolls walked into the nightlight, chuckling and cackling as they planned their attack.
I'm going for the puzzle,
said one of the trolls.
I'm gonna steal a few pieces so they can't finish it. It'll drive them crazy.
He laughed.
Yeah, I'm going for the crayons,
said another.
I'm gonna steal the red. It's the boy's favorite color. When he can't find it, he'll throw all the colors against the wall and start bawling.
It stops here,
yelled Nate.
and it stops now.
He and David were standing on top of the largest gift. Not expecting to see anyone, the trolls fled in shock and confusion to hide among the gifts. Their leader finally peeked out from his hiding place.
Wait, it's only two lizards.
He shouted.
Why are we hiding? Let's teach them a lesson instead.
With that, many trolls emerged from all over the room. There were more than just a small gang. They quickly surrounded the tree and started climbing over the gifts in an effort to reach the lizards. Nate and David both struck a fighting pose. They looked at each other, each trying to give the other confidence. But inwardly, their hearts were pounding with fear. Just then, a ray of light came straight through the window and touched the lizards, causing them to shine brightly. Everyone in the room was blinded. The lizards looked up and realized the light was coming from far up in the sky.
What's happening?
Asked Nate.
I think it's the Christmas star.
Answered his friend. It was the Christmas star, and it was bringing them help from above, just as Great Oak had promised.
I feel funny all over.
Whispered Nate.
Me too. I feel stronger.
Replied David. Suddenly, the brilliance exploded with a loud roar, and the ray of light disappeared. The trolls were finally able to see. When they now looked at the largest gift, they were shocked to find the two lizards were no longer there. Instead, two small but mighty T-Rexes stood in their place. The Christmas star had seen the great bravery of the lizards and was rewarding them with enormous strength to match. So great was their new strength, in fact, that their tiny lizard bodies couldn't deal with it. So the star had given each lizard the mighty body of a T-Rex. No longer were they just Mezas. They were now Misosauruses! The T-Rexes roared at the trolls.
We are the guardians of the tree, and you shall not touch it!
What's happening?
Shrieked the terrified trolls. With one great flip of their tails, the T-Rexes tossed off the trolls who were clambering up the packages. The guardians then jumped down, landing on the floor with a loud thud. This terrified most of the trolls, who wanted no part of the T-Rex's sharp teeth and the powerful jaws, and ran away screaming. Only the troll leader and a few brave trolls decided to stay.
Roar!
David roared again, causing the remaining trolls to climb over one another in an effort to escape. Just before the troll leader jumped into a vent, he looked over his shoulder and shouted,
We'll be back!
And we'll be waiting for you.
Nate answered calmly.
We're the guardians of the tree.
The two Mesas bellowed together.
We will always be here.
Christmas morning finally dawned. When the first ray of light hit the Christmas tree, the guardians were instantly changed back into their lizard forms. They scattered outside as to not be seen. Nate and David paused at the windowsill long enough to look inside and witness the joy of the children on Christmas morning. They had done their job. They had protected the tree and its gifts, and now they were welcomed back in the forest as heroes and as equals. As they told their story, they inspired other lizards to join the fight and to volunteer for next year. There were many trolls out there and many other houses with Christmas trees that needed guarding. The Mesosauruses would take the rest of the year off, but not for long. Come December, they were back on the job. True to his word, the troll leader would peek at the tree every year to see if there was an opportunity to return. And true to their word, the guardians of the tree were still there every year, putting a stop to the trolls and their plans. The guardians of the tree were there to protect Christmas. This Christmas, have the guardians guard your Christmas tree. Get your book with 2 dinosaur ornaments. Let the Mesosaurus protect your gifts. They will run out, so get them today at www.guardiansofthetree.com.